Forgive me, my friends, but I must return to Megaduta for the time being. There, I can better manage this crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. In that case, we shall carry out an investigation of our own. Wow. What's the word? Code switching? From, like, pseudo-Hindu to British? Tough. In that case, we shall carry out an investigation of our own here in the city. Mayhap the residents can tell us more about the first of the transformations and the conditions under which it occurred. If we ascertain what exactly triggered these tragic events, it might give us some insight as to a possible solution. Time is of the essence. Let us split into 3 groups that we may cover more ground. Alice and I will see to Paxa's path. Thancred and Ishtola pray make for Dharma. I leave Artha to Graha and you, Saganhaft. Any information you can gather on the first blasphemy or the manifestation of the final days here in the city would be most helpful. When we have completed our respective inquiries, let us reconvene in front of Megaduta, that we might share what we've learned with the satrap. Alright, it's you and me, Graha. Shall we be off, then? Artha is home to the high crucible of Alchemia, whose alchemists forged many of our warding scares. That seems as good a place as any to begin our investigation, don't you think? I spoke briefly with Nuhadin, the chief alchemist there. On our last visit, he should be happy to answer our queries. Can I telly to wherever that is? Oh, that would just be too convenient, wouldn't it? I think I need to... Oh, is that underneath the right? That's what I'm Alright. So, we gotta get through to Nuhadin. Alright, good. The transfer... Teleportation worked. And it's going to be on this floor. Because with the Aetherite, I don't think you can just go directly up there. So the best path forward is this way. And then we'll end up there talking about the Blasphemy. And hopefully we do start figuring something out. Because I'm wondering what this void thing is, right? If any of you have ever read, Jim Butcher, geez, what is it called now? The Dresden Files. This, in like the 11th book, those from beyond, they're basically extra universal entities that are void, that are literally, that feed on energy and life. And I'm wondering if that's kind of what's happening here, or if you've played Kingdom Hearts, right? The Heartless. That's essentially, literally what's going on right here. And that would be interesting too if that's the Easter egg, that Final Fantasy XIV not only brought in all of the different Final Fantasies, but also started bringing in other franchises like the Kingdom Hearts. Ah, I remember those red eyes. You were with those Scions who commissioned the scales from us, yes? I welcome you back to the High Crucible. What brings you here in these troubling times? We are assisting the Satrap in investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch sight of any of the creatures? I did. As I was going about my work, I was disturbed by crashing footsteps so powerful that the very ground shook. I rushed outside and could not believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly, I hear panicked screams coming from the direction of Bazaar. In the next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head out from amidst the stalls. A handful of the Radiant rushed to the scene, only to be sent sprawling as the Fiend and its minions propelled themselves skyward. So, the Blasphemy came from the vicinity of the markets. This knowledge may prove useful. Thank you for sharing it here. Well, I do believe we now know where we should inquire next. To the Bazaar, then. Alright, to the Bazaar. Oh, cool! It's got red on it. That should make that infinitely more useful and easy. And it looks like we have a speaking opportunity. And I apologize for my accents in advance. I am working on the British one, and I'm trying to be not over the top with my Hindu accents, such as they are. So this is the Thavnarian weave. I must say, it bears a resemblance to the traditional fabrics of Corvos. Small wonder, really, given that it's just across the water. Not that I'm much of an expert in Corvosi culture, of course. I've not had the occasion to visit my ancestral home since coming to Chalet, and like as not, I will never reside there again. That said, in recent days I felt more acutely aware of my heritage, and grateful for it. It is thanks to my forebears that I inherited the royal eye, and with it the wisdom of ancient Alag. And so, well, I simply hope that my countrymen are safe, and one day, when this calamity is but a memory, I would like to see Corvos again, if only once. Forgive me, but my shop's closed until further notice. Needless to say, we've more pressing concerns these days. We have come not in search of wares, but information concerning the enormous fiend that tore through the bazaar. Did you perchance witness anything? Afraid not, my friend. I was here the whole time, so I only saw its little minions. Made a mess of the place, they did. While that was all going on, the great big one tore through the west side of the bazaar. You'd have better luck asking there. Alright. To the left, to the left. However, I don't see a little doohickey on the map. Okay, but there's one. Zetanur. What do you got to say, buddy? Is something the matter, traveler? If you are lost, perhaps I could be of assistance. Your offer is most appreciated. We are not lost, but we are in need of information. Might you know anything about the gargantuan beast that rampaged through the bazaar? Aye, I saw it all, though I wish I had not. I was going about my work when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around and there was the fiend, its massive body bursting through that entryway with the force of a tidal wave, and then it was gone as quickly as it came. Alright, the gate. Where I, and seemingly a bunch of other people, are hanging out. Radivera. Sisters have mercy, what is happening to the world? What am I to do? Is nowhere safe. Settle down, friend. The danger has passed, at least for now. If it's not too painful to remember, could you tell us what you saw? For first I heard the screams, then a horde of ravening beasts came charging toward us. One of them was huge, bigger than the married, throwing people about like ragdolls. It was eating them. I hid under the counter, saw others do the same. But the shrieking and wailing kept getting louder. More voices in the throng. Beasts or victims, I couldn't tell, and knew not what was happening. I still don't. That is enough, my good man. You were brave enough to share with us your tale. Many of your fellow merchants are safe. The High Crucible too has survived, mostly unscathed. Pray stay close to your friends and loved ones, and rest your body and mind until you are safe. I suspect that is the most we can expect the people here to tell us. I think it best we find a place outside the bazaar where we might rest and review our findings. Alrighty. Heading north by northeast. Gonna get him. Gonna get this. Vishpa. Judging by their accounts, the transformation had already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar and headed towards the Aetherite Plaza. In other words, the Blasphemy may have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the people in that Mayonnaise can surely tell us more. Whatever a Mayonnaise is, I'm assuming an alleyway, I guess? I don't know. But we're about to find out. So, I'm guessing that says Mayonnaise. Oh. Fearful here. A small one at that. Going after that enormous beast, are you? Aye, I saw it, including the very instant that poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me here. It started over there by the window. A few men, merchants probably, talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worse. Next thing I know, their leader, I suppose he was, buries his head in his hands and black mist was swirling about him. Then his whole body bursts apart, and there stands a hideous, slavering beast, massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His friends start shrieking, then the black mist comes again until the change takes them too. The stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you perchance know who those merchants were? No, I'm a decorator by trade. Not much cause to mingle with that sort. Saw Mihilil, the barmaid, chatting with them though. She might know something. Of course the barmaid was chatting with them. Probably, trying really hard not to get sexually assaulted. Oh, pardon me. I was just, anyway. Take a seat wherever you like. We're open for business as per usual. What, you literally just told me to talk to her. Alright. Romera. Even after repairing all that damage, it'll take a while for business to pick up again. Yeah, people have to stop dying and transforming into soulless creatures of death. Ah, you mean the Blasphemy. That's what the Radiant have been calling it anyway. I saw it too, we all did. I was standing here at the counter as Merde poured me a drink when suddenly there came this dreadful sound, like a pained, angry groan. It was unlike anything I've ever heard. I turned around in shock, and from an ominous cloud of black mist rose the creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, to recall it sends shivers up my spine, but someone's stroke of fortune, I was able to slip outside before the beast got its claws on me. But the sight that greeted me offered no solace. The blue sky above turned red as blood. Merde, myself, and the other survivors clung to each other for dear life until the Radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear you correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn. I'm certain of it. The windows here offer a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began to rage. Yeah, so red skies is the culmination of the apocalypse instead of the actual precursor. But see, is the red skies the herald in a sense, right? It's the heralding of the doom, whereas the loss of Aether is the trigger. Maybe it's the Aether draining, transforming these people into these creatures, and that void energy triggers something into the sky that bleeds, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, the sky into this red, just calamitous, stormy weather. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Merde's Manet. What can we get you? Oh, crap! We have not come for libations, but rather for information. You are Malil, yes. We are investigating the so-called Blasphemy on this chap's behalf. We hear it was one of your customers, a merchant, that first underwent the transformation. What can you tell us about him? I don't like that. I need to slow that down. He was something of a regular here, especially of late. Karl Zal was his name. He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily in the exports of Thavnarian specialties. Where have I heard that name before? It's through him we met Matsya. Ah, yes, the name rings a bell. Didn't you meet them both on your first trip to Thavner? If I recall correctly, Kalzal ran a trading operation in Yeldlamad, and it was there that you made Matsya's acquaintance. Yes, that is the same Kalzal, no doubt. A rather successful man from what I gather. That said, it was clear that he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere cannot have been good for business. Even now, with my towers gone, and the collapse of the empire has led to all sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not what it once was. Yeah. Trying times for the head of a trading consortium indeed. Kalzal was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for the artisans, fishermen, and many others who counted on him to sell their wares. Indeed, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting as far as I could hear. Yet, as they discussed matters further, Kalzal's tongue grew grave and grim. It was then that... forgive me. I would not have you recall the memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would ask just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Kalzal in particular? Please, anything at all. Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps someone else can help you. Kalzal lived for his work and had no family that I know of. His employees and associates knew him best, but they too are lost to us. Yikes! Still, perhaps his neighbors know something I do not. I can direct you to them if you believe it would help. What do you say? Best we can do.